Welcome to the 19th episode of NPSee, the series that aims to bring the unimportant NPCs from games to light. Let us dive right into the vast province of Cyrodiil in Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. Last episode we examined the Black Horse Courier paper, and I mentioned that Cicero Verus was an advertiser that passed out papers. I overlooked that there are actually a handful of people that do this throughout the city. Let me correct this mistake today, and so we will examine each of the vendors and their families. The Veruses, the Quincels, Pennus Malleus, and Tertius Favonius. All of the vendors are imperial men that, when working, will advertise to passers-by.
Don't be the last to read today's Black Horse Courier. Everybody needs a copy of the Black Horse Courier. Get your Black Horse Courier here.
And advertise to you should you open conversation with them.
Here's a copy of the Black Horse Courier. Identity of the Grey Fox revealed.
Linaris, that issue is literally about you.
Sorry?
The Verus brothers number 3. They reside in and operate Three Brothers Trade Goods, a general shop in the market district. While Cicero works for the Courier, his brothers Sergius and Tertullian, good name, run the shop. When approached, Cicero says,
Have a copy of the Black...
Cicero says,
It would be perfect if the watch could just get rid of the damned Thieves Guild. You don't have this problem in Anvil or Bruma.
He has a distaste for the Guild of Thieves, it seems. Sergius says,
Tertullian, Sergius, and Cicero, the three Verus brothers. I'm Sergius. The Black Horse Courier is run by three Khajiit brothers. They buy freelance stories with an imperial stipend and give the papers away for free.
Tertullian is concerned with local merchant issues.
Say, you look like someone that could help us out. Having a bit of trouble with another merchant in town who goes by the name of Thorinir.
This Thorinir is involved in a questline that can earn you the favor of the merchants here.
Jensine is the lady you want to speak with about Thorinir.
A good little thing to do. Chatting with him about the city.
It's a beautiful city, but stay away from the waterfront. It's not dangerous, but it's dirty. And the beggars are a nuisance.
I will not be following that advice. Since they are traders, let us look at their goods. They operate as a general shop, selling a mix of things including a few weapons, alchemy ingredients and food, scrolls and repair hammers. They, like many shops, carry unique items. There are two in this case, as Sergius and Tertullian operate as distinct vendors. Sergius carries the Akaviri katana called Akaviri Sunderblade, enchanted to degrade weapons and armors. Tertullian sells the Helm of the Deep Delver, a dwarven helmet enchanted with light, disease and poison resistance at the expense of some speed. These are very expensive, but could be fun to try out. Both Shopkeep brothers are journeyman traders, so drive a decently difficult bargain and have 1,000 gold per item bartering maximum.
I appreciate your business.
The Veruses all stay in the city, with Sergius and Tertullian manning the shop in turns. All three brothers sleep in their upstairs living quarters from midnight to 6 in the morning and have a 2-hour breakfast together. Cicero then heads out to work, handing out papers from 8 to 6 p.m, at which time he heads home. Mondas is an exception, as he first prays at the Temple of the One for 4 hours before working. Sergius and Tertullian work the shop front from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. except on their break days. Sergius takes Sundays off, instead wandering the market district before heading to the Arboretum from midday. Tertullian takes Tierdas and Turdas off too, huh? Poor Sergius. On Tierdas he goes to the temple to pray for 4 hours before heading to the Arboretum, and on Turdas he simply spends the whole day in the Arboretum.
Hello! Have you ever shopped at the main ingredient? Can't say I've spent much...
At 8 p.m. on weekdays, the brothers depart from the shop to the feed bag for dinner among the regulars. There, they eat for 4 hours before heading home to sleep. On the weekends, this changes. On Lordas, Cicero stays inside instead of heading to the bag, and on Sundas, he instead goes to the high-class Tiber Septim Hotel for dinner. Sergius and Tertullian spend Lordas evening at the temple. On Sundas evening, Sergius spends time in the Green Emperor Way, taking a stroll with Paloniria, the high-class clothier. I imagine they have something cute going on. Tertullian accompanies Cicero to the Talas Plaza. District, but wanders it instead of entering the hotel. The Three Brothers' shop stands near the Black Horse Courier on the east side of the market. It is clearly demarcated by its sign, but otherwise unremarkable from the normal Imp City design. Inside, it opens to the shop floor, displaying mixed items on its shelves and tables in a slightly disorganized looking way. There is a basement around the corner of standard fare and an upstairs bedroom area. Therein is a decent space, a dining area stocked with food, living space, and 3 sleeping areas. All of the NPCs today are commoners and thus have no fighting gusto. All retaliate with any weapons they have, but mostly their fists, before running away. They all also carry house keys and gold. Cicero wears a colorful forester's tunic, light brown linens, and russet felt shoes. Sergius wears a shirt with suspenders, tan linens, and quilted shoes. And Tertullian wears a full russet outfit, whatever that is. Villanaris Covincial, oddly enough, is the Black Horse Courier vendor. You may remember that in one of the issues of the Courier, Villanaris was the skooma-addled man that confessed to being the Grey Fox, the reincarnation of Tiber Septim, the love child of the Lord Stendar, a wereshark, and the mother of Heron. Working for the very paper that tarnished his name is strange, but perhaps it was a purposeful ruse for an interesting story. Who knows? He lives in the waterfront with his sister Bronsilla and brother Castav, who are dock workers. The Covincials have a less than ideal relationship with each other, each having their gripes and complaints. Villanaris tells us,
Castav says he works. Ha! Flies land on him, he's too lazy to brush them off. I'm sick of taking abuse for him, even if he is my brother.
Bronsilla complains about Villanaris.
I'm Bronsilla Covincial, and I'm so sick of that Villanaris I could scream. I've worked on the docks as long as Villanaris, but he thinks he's the expert. He's always looking over my shoulder. Do it this way, do it that way.
And Castav complains about Bronsilla.
I'm Castav Covincial, and if you listen to that witch of a sister of mine, Bronsilla, I'm also a dog and a pig. I do my part on the docks, just like Bronsilla and Villanaris. Why should I kill myself? They don't pay me anymore. For what I get paid, I work plenty.
All siblings sleep between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. and spend a bit of the morning annoyed with each other in the house. The Covincials all head out at 8. Villanaris takes his position along the waterfront to hand out papers, while the other 2 work in the warehouses, Bronsilla in the easternmost and Castav in the closer one. They work up until 7 p.m, at which point they all head home and dine inside before heading to bed.
Greetings, Orc.
Murdered. No!
The Covincials live in a tiny shack on the beach to the southwestern side of the waterfront. It is not a particularly nice home by Oblivion standards, made of rough planks to keep out the sandy air. At least it has a chimney. Inside it is no better, as it has to house 3 people. There is only one multi-purpose room with 3 beds and a dining area with a table and poor quality utensils. They all wear poorer quality clothing. Villanaris wears a green wool shirt, blacksmith's pants, and oiled linen shoes. Castav has a flax tunic, green felt linens, and sackcloth sandals, and Bronsilla wears a shirt with suspenders, clogs, and belted brays. What are brays? A type of trouser worn by Celtic. This is the shortest Wikipedia article I've ever seen. Pennus Malleus, who I will henceforth call Penny for pronunciation security, is an adventurer taking some time off from the excitement, or perhaps a retired adventurer should he decide that. He lives and works in the Temple District. Penny Millenni introduces himself thusly.
Pennus Malleus, adventurer at large. Just between adventures at present, I'm afraid.
An adventurer akin to Crow, then.
I made quite a lot of gold from my last expedition. I bought this house, invested the rest. And now, I'm just living the life of the city gentleman.
And a gentleman. They are similar indeed. Penny sleeps between midnight and 6 a.m. before breakfasting for 2 hours. At 8 he heads outside to vend the newspapers for the day. At 6 p.m. he heads home to relax for a couple of hours before he dines at the All Saints Inn across the road.
Hi there. What? There's a new ship moored up in the waterfront district. The Marie Elena. Elena moves with such grace.
She jumps like a toad.
He then strides home at 10 and winds down for the evening. On Midas, he breaks this trend to visit the market district between 4 and 9 p.m. On the first of each month, he embarks on a little adventure. He takes the long walk to Leowin to stay at the Three Sisters Inn. Hey, here once again. It feels like it was just 3 weeks ago. There he stays until midnight on the 3rd, heading back home. He must have made a lot of money adventuring because his house is super swish. It is a medium-sized mansion located on the northern corner of the Temple District. Inside, the ground floor is for living and dining. A basement down is for storage, and a bedroom upstairs is for sleeping and leisure. His bed is nice, and the house has a decent amount of well-locked containers, however, they don't contain much special. Of note, in the corner of the upstairs room is a painting setup with brushes, palettes, canvas, and an easel. They're all blank, but it is nice to learn more about his hobbies. Despite being an adventurer, he fights like any commoner. He wears a russet felt outfit and quilted shoes. Tertius Favonius operates from the Elven Garden district and lives with his girlfriend, Romana Filaria. Ah, young love. Well, the love is young anyway. Tertius immediately speaks of his girlfriend and his change of ways.
Tertius Favonius, Romana and me have set up housekeeping. She's a real doll, isn't she? I like the ladies. It's been my weakness. But now I've got Romana. I stay away from the flesh pots.
Flesh pots, huh? Feed me! Romana returns the loving sentiment.
What is it now? Isn't Tertius a dreamboat? I'm Romana Filaria. I'm such a lucky girl. It is so hard to find a man you can trust in this big city. Sure, Tertius has had his share of girls. Just look at him. But all that's changed now.
The couple sleep from midnight to 6 a.m. like so many do. They spend a couple of hours eating breakfast together before splitting off. Tertius heads outside and spends the better part of the day handing out papers. Romana lives a more relaxed lifestyle. She stays in the house after breakfast until 1, when she and him head to the King and Queen Tavern for lunch.
The Tiber Septim Hotel is a nice place.
It's probably the finest inn in all of Cyrodiil.
Farewell. What?
From 3, Tertius continues the newspaper work
Don't be the...
and heads home for the evening at 6 p.m. Romana instead goes to the Temple District
What do you know?
Nothing.
to linger around for the rest of the day, returning at 10 p.m. Tertius' house lies in the northern alley of the Elven Gardens district. It is the imperial construction, middlingly opulent, and with pretty flowers outside. Tertius' home is the Mirror of Pennies, with floors to similar purposes, ground floor for living and dining, etc. There is no painting set up, of course, so we know less about their hobbies. Tertius is adorned in a burgundy linen shirt with matching pants and quilted shoes, while Romana wears a lower-class green wool shirt, clogs, and coarse linens. How Tertius and Romana can subsist on his newspaper work with such a good house when the Covincials live in poverty is beyond me, but then again Vlani is a skooma sucker. There you have it, the Black Horse Courier holistically explored. Hopefully. Happy to see I can knock off so many NPCs in one episode. I have found that doing this project has made me have a connection with each and every character I've done. Whenever they pass me on the streets, I can't help but be happy and stop and say hello. Let the NPCs Cicero, Sergius, Tertullian, Flenaris, Broncilla, Castav, Pennus, Tertius, and Romana be NPC'd. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again in the next episode. Whew, that's more than enough Imperials for a while.